What kind of city opens its doors to the persecuted and becomes the birthplace of a new civilization? What kind of leader builds unity between strangers stronger than blood? And what happens when faith is finally free?
The desert winds carried a different feeling now. Not fear, not silence, hope. As the travelers approached Yathrib, the city waited. Men, women, and children gathered along the paths, their eyes searching the horizon. For days they had been anticipating this moment. Every morning they would go out, waiting under the burning sun, and every evening they would return home disappointed. Until one day, someone shouted, "They have arrived!"
A city transformed. Yathrib would no longer be called by its old name. It would become Madinah, the city. But it was more than a name change. It was the beginning of something humanity had rarely seen. A society built not on tribe, but on belief. The people of Medina were divided before this moment. Two major tribes, the Aus and the Khazraj, had fought bitter wars for generations. Blood feuds had defined their history. Revenge was inherited like family property. But Islam brought something radical.
Brotherhood beyond blood. One of the first actions taken in Medina was something no empire had ever done before. The Prophet established brotherhood between the migrants, muhajirun, and the locals, ansar. Not symbolic brotherhood, real brotherhood. A wealthy man from Medina would be paired with a poor migrant from Mecca, and they would share everything: homes, food, wealth, even inheritance at one point. One man from the Ansar said to his new brother, "I have 2 gardens, I will give you 1. The migrant replied, "Just show me the market." Dignity was preserved, generosity was honored. This was not charity, this was transformation.
A mosque built with hands, not pride.
There were no palaces in Madinah, no marble pillars, no golden gates. Instead, there was a simple, open space where something timeless would be built: the mosque. Men carried bricks with their own hands. The Prophet worked alongside them, lifting, building, sweating under the sun. No special status, no royal distance. Leadership here meant service. The mosque was more than a place of prayer. It was a school, a court, a community center, a shelter for the poor. In modern terms, it was the heart of the city.
A constitution ahead of its time. But Medina was not made up of Muslims alone. There were Jewish tribes, pagan groups, different alliances. Conflict could easily return. So something unprecedented was written: a constitution. An agreement between different communities that guaranteed religious freedom, mutual defense, justice for all. In a time when empires ruled by force, this was governance by principle. Historians today would call it one of the earliest examples of a pluralistic society.
Then came a moment that would define the identity of Islam forever. A call. Not shouted in anger, not declared by kings, but sung into the sky. Bilal, the same man who had once been tortured in the desert, stood elevated and called people to prayer. His voice rose above Medina. Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! God is greater, greater than power, greater than fear, greater than oppression. For the first time, the oppressed were leading, not through revenge, but through faith. A new kind of strength. But peace did not mean safety. The Quraysh in Mecca had not forgotten. They had lost control, and that was dangerous. Caravans were threatened. Alliances were forming. War was coming. Yet something had changed. The Muslims were no longer scattered and weak. They were united, disciplined, driven not by wealth or conquest, but by conviction. A question that echoes today. What makes a civilization strong? Is it wealth? Military power? Technology? Or is it something deeper? Values. Medina was not powerful because it had resources. It was powerful because it had purpose. And that is why its story did not end there. It expanded. It inspired. It traveled across deserts, across oceans, until one day it reached lands no one in Medina had ever imagined.